Welcome into the PHNX Coyotes podcast, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah Merrill here with Craig Morgan, Steve Peters, once again, conveniently on an airplane during our live show, so we will hold down the fort without him. Craig, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm ready to drink some Four Peaks, actually. A little day drinking today.
Yeah, who says you can't crack one open at 11? It is Friday after all. I'm wearing my new Four Peaks shirt, drink beer, give back. Super excited about it. I have my favorite, the Peach Golden Ale. This is my favorite Four Peaks beer. So I'll be drinking this. And Craig, what will you be drinking?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out how I should drink this. This is the growler from Four Peaks. It's oatmeal stout. I'm thinking of just getting a straw.
Yeah, you should. I think you really should. Oh, my goodness.
People drink beer through a straw? No, I'm going to pour it right here. Hopefully I won't have a tragic pour.
Yeah, don't spill it on your laptop and then we lose you for the rest of the show. For those who might not know, Four Peaks is the latest, newest, most awesome sponsor of PHNX, the official beer of PHNX. We're so excited to partner with Four Peaks. I've been drinking Four Peaks for years. It's honestly some of my favorite beer ever. So the fact that we get to partner with them and they're the official beer of PHNX could not be a better fit and a better partnership for me, in my opinion.
I think we should toast them right now, Leah.
Let's do it.
Here's my oatmeal stout. And by the way, like you were saying, I've been drinking Four Peaks for a lot of years. I've been going to this brewery for a very long time. People were chirping me yesterday like, oh, you're getting paid by Four Peaks. That's why you had it in your story.
No.
If you've listened to the Natty Hattie, you know that I have been promoting this brewery for a very long time. Love the oatmeal stout. Love the Hefeweizen. It's called Wow there. And the seasonal pumpkin porter we get in like mass quantities when they make it in the fall. So I'll be getting that just in time for hockey season. So
yes, very true.
Beyond looking forward, I am giddy about this partnership. I could not have chosen a better brewery for our partnership.
Yep. And Charles said it. Leah is truly beer now. It's funny how this all came full circle to me just randomly saying I am beer on the show one day, and now I really am beer. If you didn't see the ads that came out for this yesterday, check out PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter. They were hilarious. Of course, Craig and Petey were not present at the photo shoot. So when they said, oh, take a photo with your beat, it was just me. So
it was like,
but I think it's great now, especially going forward into next season, Pack Therapy. We're going to need it. And now we have our official beer of Pack Therapy as well. So couldn't be more excited about that. And another thing that I couldn't be more excited about, and I know people have been asking in the Discord and for a while, the PHNX Coyotes official NHL draft party will be at Four Peaks Brewing Company on July 7th, 4 o'clock. Join us at Four Peaks in Tempe for the NHL draft. It's a huge, huge day, July 7th. The Coyotes have 3 first-round picks. Petey and Sean will be holding it down at Four Peaks with a number of special guests. You're going to want to be there. Craig and I will be in Montreal, but I will be a big part of the show just from Montreal. So we hope you'll join us at Four Peaks on July 7th because it's going to be a real fun time. I'm sad I won't be there, but
it's so cool.
It's a great venue.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it really is. So draft party. More details to come. There will be a Eventbrite for it. We'll send it in the chat in a bit here and tweet it out on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes and in the members only Discord. And you can find more information at gophnx.com as well. So super excited about that. And Craig, I was thinking about it. If it's oatmeal, then, it's before noon, it's breakfast. It's a breakfast beer.
That's a good way of looking at it, actually.
And my peach, it's fruit. So
calling this healthy then?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Why not? I mean, we don't have to convince ourselves. We'll just enjoy it because it's that good.
Here's the thing, though. There's some really good food there as well. Have you had their chicken strips?
I haven't, but we did eat there, and I really liked the food that we had.
Okay, that batter, the chicken strips are out of control. They're so good. My kids ask me if we can go all the time just so they can get the chicken strips. They're unbelievable. So you have to try them as well. I think they're called the 8th Street chicken strips or chicken tenders. I can't remember. Sorry, I should have known that coming on, but I think it's named after 8th Street where they are.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have to give it a try.
They have other good entrees there as well, other good offerings, appetizers, etc. That's all I got.
Well, everyone can try out all the great food and drinks at the draft party. Super excited for that. And until we get there, between the draft and there is still the playoffs, not just the NHL playoffs, but also the Canadian Hockey League playoffs. And we've been talking about Dylan Guenther because his team, the Edmonton Oil Kings, are still alive in the Western Hockey League finals. They're actually 1 win away from securing a Western Hockey League championship and 1 win away from going to the Memorial Cup. But for those who didn't know, Dylan Guenther is actually injured right now. He's, I believe, day-to-day with a lower body injury that he sustained in Game 3. Craig, do you have any more?
He got hit in the corner. I don't think it was a dirty hit. It's just one of those circumstances. He's day-to-day right now. That's you know how the playoffs are. Teams don't want to divulge much information. Here's my sense of this. Edmonton gets 3 cracks to close this series out, and they're all at home the way they do the structuring of the series. So they're going to have 3 home games. I don't think Dylan Guenther is going to play unless they really need him to. Edmonton's probably going to close this out. I mean, they just won a couple games in Seattle without him. They're playing so well right now. They've sustained a couple injuries. They've still been able to basically mow through the entire WHL without much difficulty. I know there've been some close games, but they haven't lost a lot of games. So I think the sense there is they'll try and win this without him. And then with the Memorial Cup, I guess 10 days away from right now, the start of it, we'll see. We'll see how it would be a real shame if Dylan Guenther actually missed the Memorial Cup. That's an experience that everyone should get in the Canadian Hockey League. And he's this close, and to have an injury derail it would be a real bummer. Maybe another reason to send him back next year to Edmonton to get that experience. But you hope somehow, some way that he can heal up in time to take part in that just incredible tournament. Looking at the Memorial Cup, again, it's June 20th to 29th in St. John, New Brunswick. The Sea Dogs lost in the first round of the QMJHL playoffs, and yet they're still hosting. We'll get to that in a minute.
Craig rant incoming. Yeah. Everybody buckle up.
Man, I have some issues with the way the Memorial Cup is structured. Really only one issue. In the OHL, Windsor leads Hamilton 2-1 in the OHL finals, and Shawinigan leads Charlottetown, Andre Tourigny's pick, 3-1 in the QMJHL finals. So we're very close to knowing the 4 teams that are going to compete in the Memorial Cup. I have never covered this live, but I have watched it. If you haven't watched it, Leah, you probably have because you're a Canadian.
Yeah.
Unbelievable tournament. It is so cool.
It's awesome. It really is. It's so unique as well. And before you go on your little rant, Craig, going back to Dylan Guenther, hopefully, like you said, they're holding him out of these 3, like they have these 3 shots at home to get it done. There's still 10 days until it starts. He can get some rest, hopefully, and come back stronger. And I know before, I think the last time we talked about Dylan Guenther and the Oil Kings, we talked about how important it would be for him to have the experience of playing in a Memorial Cup and kind of playing every level of the Canadian Hockey League, and just, as part of his development, just getting more reps, different situations. So besides just the fact that it's disappointing that he's injured right now, I think for his development, it would be really great for him to be part of the Memorial Cup.
Yeah, and you think, when you look long-term for Dylan Guenther, my understanding is this is not an injury that's going to require surgery of any kind. So that's good news. But, if it's something that requires a little more healing and they're going to keep evaluating this, you worry about him for the Memorial Cup. You worry about him for the World Championship as well, right?
Yeah.
You'd love to see him get to play in those sorts of tournaments. It's such a great experience. And really what you want is you want your top prospect to be on that stage and then shine on that stage, because the confidence that you can build from those sort of events, when it's best on best, same age groups, you really get a sense of what you've got in that player. If they excel on that stage against players their own age, the best players in the world their own age, that's a really good sign for what they might be able to do in the NHL.
Exactly. So we'll cheer for the Edmonton Oil Kings to make it to the Memorial Cup. Their next game is Saturday against the Seattle Thunderbirds, and they can close it out with a win. So we'll see what happens. And for those who don't know the format of the Memorial Cup, it's a 4-team tournament with the winners of the OHL, WHL, and the Q, respectively. But the 4th team is the host team, no matter what, no matter how they did in the season, where whoever is hosting the Memorial Cup automatically gets a berth in the tournament. Craig?
Yeah. And as I mentioned, St. John is the host this year. They finished 3rd in their division in the Q. They lost in the first round of the playoffs, and yet they can be crowned Canadian Hockey League champions if they win on their home ice. I got a lot of issues with this. Now, I know the argument for having a host site. I don't necessarily buy it. They want to ensure that there's it takes a lot of planning, right? You got to plan this event. So you want to have it settled in a place. You want to get all your sponsorships, all your other stuff in place, and you want to secure attendance. I have a hard time believing that attendance for the Memorial Cup would suffer if you didn't announce it until you had the 3 league champions. Right? I mean, okay, a week. I got a week to plan where I'm going to go. I have a hard time believing that they're not going to sell out the building, that they're not going to make this happen nonetheless. A lot of other leagues don't plan it ahead of time, and they don't suffer. The Memorial Cup is a really big deal. I don't buy the argument that you're going to have a hard time, securing all the revenue you want. But if that's your concern, there are ways to solve that. If you want to give a bunch of CHL cities the chance to host the tournament, fine. Rotate it on a yearly basis, but make it a neutral site. I don't think that site should get to participate in the CHL championship series because they're the host. It's silly. You need to earn it. You want the best on the best. So you want to do it that way, rotate it between a bunch of cities to give everybody a chance to host the Memorial Cup, enjoy the revenue, but you still know where it's going to be on a yearly basis. It's just a neutral site. I also think you could, and still plan it and still be fine with revenue. You could give it to, you could rotate it between the 3 conferences, right? So the league champion, the team that wins the postseason, they get to host, knowing that the Q is going to host it this year, the O is going to host it the next year, and then the dub is going to host it the following year. So let the champion of that postseason host it. How do you pick the 4th team? I think you do an at-large bid. You can do it a couple ways. You can do it by saying, okay, the WHL is going to host it this year. So let's give the second team, the team that makes the finals but loses, let's give them a berth. Or you could say, all right, let's pick the team with the best point total from the 3 leagues, or figure out some way that way to decide the 4th at-large team to participate in the Memorial Cup. But again, I think it needs to be the 4 best teams. It shouldn't be the 3 league champions and some random team because they're hosting. That team hasn't earned the right to be called CHL champion, Memorial Cup champion. It's just ridiculous. And there are such easy fixes here. I'm amazed that the CHL continues to go with this format.
Wow, that is so funny. Like every time I took a breath to ask a question, well, how will they determine the 4th? Like you had an answer. You really thought this one through. I don't know who the commissioner of the CHL is, but we have the list for Gary Bettman from you. So now we'll just start a new list for the CHL or the commissioners of each individual one. I'm not sure.
Think? I mean, what do you think of the format?
I agree. I don't like that they automatically, because you can just coast the whole season. I don't know. If you just know, and then also it's not as fun because the whole point of a championship tournament is that you're fighting tooth and nail to get there, and you should earn it. You look at the NHL playoffs, and no one ever knows where those are going to be, and everyone makes it work. Yep. I think there wouldn't be a problem selling it out. So, but if they want to have this site, then I agree. It should be a neutral site because, okay, if it's going to be in Kelowna, because I think it's going to be in Kelowna next year. So it's going to be in Kelowna. You can plan all year to know. And then I really like the at-large bid idea. Or maybe it's, the team in the CHL that had finished the regular season with the most points besides those 3, whatever it is. Yeah. I don't really like it. However, for the city, itself that gets to host and see their team play in it, that's really special. So I could see that side of the argument.
How about this for choosing the fourth at large bid? Because they're going to be people saying, well, if you go by point total, they're not playing the same teams. They're playing within their own league. So how are you determining it? What if you had a play-in series with those three teams that went to the finals in their respective leagues but lost? What if they had a play-in series in the same host city to decide the fourth team that gets in? Yeah, they'd be a little more tired, but hey, you didn't win your league title, so you don't get that advantage. And that could ratchet up interest even more. And guess what else it could do? It could increase revenue because you've added an extra series.
All right. I like it, Craig. You have me sold.
Okay, you're welcome, CHL. I've solved your problem.
Yes, we will clip this and send it to them in an email. I'm sure they'll open it first thing. Moving on to the NHL playoffs. Tampa, New York last night, and Tampa took home Game 5 and are heading back to Tampa with a chance to close it out at home, which last night's game was really good. It was really competitive. It was a close game, but once again, Tampa just prevailed, and personally, I can't see them losing Game 6 at home.
Yeah, I want to address John Steiner's question. He was talking about the Trouba non-hit on Andre Palat. I don't think you can penalize someone for intent when there's no actual result of it. I know there's some argument over whether it would have been a dirty hit or not. He was leading with his elbow. It looked like it might have been, but you can't penalize somebody for something that didn't happen. That's my take on that, John. So sorry. Getting back to the series, I don't know, Leah. I went into watching that game thinking it'd be really cool if the Rangers won this and somehow continued this Cinderella run to the Cup final. But there was something in the back of my head the whole time I was watching it saying, Tampa's winning this game.
Yeah.
This game. Tampa knows what to do in these situations. And it was a weird goal that deflected off of Palat's shin pad to go in on Sergachev's shot from the point. But I just had a feeling that Tampa was going to find a way to win this game. And now the Rangers are faced with having to win a Game 6 in Tampa when Tampa knows we can close it out. They may even get Braden Point back for that game. We'll see how that goes. Man, Tampa, wow. We talked about this on the pod yesterday, but they are one win away from getting to their third straight Cup final. The last team that did that was the Edmonton Oilers from 1983 to 85. It's been a long time. We talked about Tampa's place in history. They're one win away from getting a crack at being crowned, in my opinion, the best team so far of the post-lockout era.
Wow. If you missed our podcast yesterday, we talked a lot about dynasties and what makes a dynasty in Tampa and what they could accomplish by winning. So check that out wherever you get your podcast. If you missed that, it's absolutely unbelievable to see. I mean, that first series with Toronto was so close, but once they won that Game 7, it's kind of been no looking back. And I know this series has obviously been more of a challenge than the series with the Panthers, but just to see the players who've stepped up and scored, just they're getting help from everywhere. And you talked about that Palat goal. Palat was a 7th round draft pick. We've talked about it before. And here's a fun
year, I believe.
And a fun little stat that I saw on Hockey Reference: most goals in the conference finals since 1990. Leading that list is Joe Sakic with 16. Next on that list, Andre Palat with 15.
That's unreal, isn't it?
Who would have thought? Certainly not me.
Guys like that, you can still find guys like that. It's harder to find guys like that in the draft, and I still think, listen, Andre Palat's a guy that you fill in. He's a critical piece of their Cup titles, but he's still one of those sort of satellite pieces to the key pieces like Stamkos and Hedman. You got to have those pieces to win championships. But look at how Tampa filled in around. Look at how well they drafted. You can look overall and say, well, Tampa whiffed on a lot of picks. Everybody whiffs on a lot of picks. That's the NHL draft. The odds of succeeding, like people consider 2 out of 7 picks. If 2 out of 7 picks get to the NHL, it's a good draft. That's what the odds say, because you're evaluating 17 and 18-year-old kids with so much development ahead of them. But Tampa's done as good a job as anyone of finding those guys in the later rounds, and that is a big reason why they are in this spot right now. And yes, Andre Palat is a free agent after the season.
True, and he kind of just raised his stock. And you know who else is a free agent after this season? Nazem Kadri, who I'm sure that the Avalanche are hoping that this one goes to 7 to give him ample time. We don't still fully know the picture, much like you mentioned with Dylan Guenther. Teams are kind of hush-hush about playoff injuries. But do you think that if it does end up being Colorado and Tampa in the final, that Kadri, not having Kadri, could be a huge difference maker?
I think it's massive. I've preached on the show over and over again about the importance of center depth. You need elite centers at the top of your lineup. You need really good depth at the center position. It's such an important position for controlling the ice, just like defense, right? But, you know, when you consider all the centers' duties down low in their own defensive zone, all the things that they do, carrying the puck through the neutral zone. I know there are some wings that do it, like a Patrick Kane, but by and large, that's the responsibility of your center. Having a guy like Kadri, especially against a team like Tampa, which absolutely has center depth, especially at Braden Point plays, you got to have him. So I think Colorado calculated this, looking at that series, and I think Kadri's going to play in the Cup Final at some point. I think they're really rooting for a Game 7 because it gives him more and more time to rest. And I'm not sure Kadri's going to be ready for the start of this series, but I think he's going to be back at some point. He's not probably going to be 100%, but maybe he'll be close. And listen, nobody's 100% at this time of the year. Everybody's playing with some sort of injury, or a lot of guys are anyway. And those are the things that come out after the playoff series are over. When you get eliminated or when the Cup Finals end, you find out, you know, Patrice Bergeron was playing with like a lacerated spleen or something insane because
it's unbelievable.
It's the Cup, and
because it's the Cup.
Are nuts.
Yep, they absolutely are. I'm excited. We'll preview the Stanley Cup Final once we know the matchup for sure. And, you know, talk about the difference between the two teams and where they came from to get to this point. We'll get to that next week. But if you want to bet on tomorrow's game between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Rangers, you can do so on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I just checked it out. The Lightning are minus 180 favorites on the money line at home. I also checked the Edmonton Oil Kings line on DraftKings because, yes, you can bet on the Canadian Hockey League on DraftKings. You can bet on the WHL right now. Their money line is locked, maybe because they're waiting on injury news for some of these injured players. That's the cool thing about DraftKings, is it's so up to date with, like, if there's an injury announcement, like, instantly the line changes. So it's always changing with the news. So keep an eye on that. And I'm going to bring on Sean because he's always great with the DraftKings pick of the week. So, Sean, what's your DraftKings pick of the week?
Wait, first off, Sean, what's your Four Peaks beer?
Oh, yes.
It's a tie between the Kilt Lifter and the Hazy IPA.
Okay.
I'm a huge IPA guy, and I think I drink enough for both you and I. But the Kilt Lifter, if I'm trying to switch it up a little bit, it's my other go-to for sure.
Yeah, that's a solid beer. Petey likes the Kilt Lifter too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I know they have them at D-backs games, so it's a good one when you're at a baseball stadium or something like that. But to my pick of the week, I like it. Leah said I wanted to pick the Oil Kings. They let me down last time, so I wanted to give them a shot at redemption, but their money line isn't available. You can only bet on their first period money line right now for some reason, which I find odd. But I have to go with the NBA Finals tonight. Because it's the big event tonight. I think the Warriors are going to bounce back after losing to the Celtics. Steph Curry was smiling on the bench when they were down like 15 in the fourth quarter. So I think he's going to come out with a vengeance. Their money line is at plus 145 right now. So my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week is going to be Golden State Warriors money line at plus 145.
Just to follow up on that, who did you have in the NBA Finals and who did you have winning it?
Before the conference finals, I actually did place a bet to have the Celtics beat the Warriors in the conference finals.
I remembered that.
Exactly. So I did have that. Once the finals started, I did start leaning a little more towards the Golden State Warriors. But at this point, my original bet's starting to look good. I did not have either of these teams in the finals before the playoffs started, admittedly. But after we got on the playoffs underway, I kind of had a feeling this is where it was going. So
Sean has been money on a lot of these picks.
Yeah.
I could not do any of these things. Sean thinks he's good at broom ball, but of course the two former hockey players weren't there, so we'll never. if you were going for a star. But as far as these picks, you've been on it.
Yeah, he's been nailing the picks, nailing DraftKings picks of the week on our show, nailing picks on filling in as co-host on PHNX Bets Daily this week and last week, especially his hockey picks. But if you want to tail Sean, you can do so at the NBA playoffs. There's another game tonight, so download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code PHNX. Make any $5 bet during the NBA Finals and get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code PHNX only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And Caleb in the comments said Double Knot is clutch. That's another IPA, so I'm sure Craig wouldn't like it. Do you like Double Knot, Sean? Have you had it?
I don't know if I've had the Double Knot. The other day when we were there, I was drinking the Imperial IPA. It's got like quite a high ABV. That's a pretty good one. I like all of their IPAs. Like I honestly haven't had a beer there that I haven't liked. So if I haven't had it, I probably would.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to give all of them a try for sure. Before we get into our fun Friday segments that we do every single week, I want to let everybody know about a new series that we have coming out between now and the NHL draft, which is the first round flashback series. The first one dropped yesterday on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Craig and Petey caught up with Danny Briere, who I didn't know this until I watched the interview, Craig, that he was just the second ever pick by the then Phoenix Coyotes in Coyotes history. So that was exciting. And Craig and Petey got to ask him about his draft day experience leading up to it, the actual day, and all of that and more. So check that out if you haven't already on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. This video is unlocked, but going forward, the rest of the series, these will be for members only. So become a member at gophnx.com to get access. Craig, should we reveal some of the other people that you've already talked to and plan to talk to? He's laughing on mute. I don't know what he's saying. He's laughing on mute though. I don't know what's happening. I'm just gonna say it then.
That was your Dr. Evil look right there.
Who's mine?
Yeah, you just went. That's what that face reminded me of. So sorry, I was on mute. Of course, this happens to me and PD
once a week
per show. Yeah. So sure, we can talk about some of the people we have. I don't know if I want to give them all away.
Just give one.
Okay. Well, we caught up with Marty Hensel. That's one that comes to mind. The first round pick. Marty's whole draft, like leading up to the draft story, is a great story. I'm not going to give that away, but it's hilarious, including the manner in which he learned English, which is not a method that I would recommend for anybody else, but it worked for Marty.
Yep. So some great interviews coming out at gophnx.com. So check that out. Okay, let's get into Weekend Binge, which is one of our Friday segments. And we'll let Sean give his Weekend Binge as well. But Craig, I'll have you go first since you actually wrote down your things in the notes. But because Petey isn't here, we didn't create we don't have any graphics because Petey makes his own graphics for this segment.
I know, right?
And doesn't tell us.
It doesn't even ask if we want ours made. He just makes his own because that's apparently how Petey rolls. And it's good to be able to chirp him when he's not on the show. He's not even paying attention right now because I think he's on
I think his phone is on airplane mode.
Yeah, maybe he's listening in, but can't say anything in return, which is sort of my favorite way of communicating with Petey. All right, so for my binge, I mean, we've talked about some of these shows before, but I have been like, I quit on Man in the High Castle after 2 seasons way back. Well, I'm binging on it now, and I am halfway through the final season, season 4. It actually gets a lot better in seasons 3 and 4. It's really good in those final 2 seasons. So I think I'm 5 episodes away from finishing Man in the High Castle. That may happen today. Who knows? Stranger Things we have talked about. Have you finished? Have you guys finished?
I finally did last night.
Okay, I won't give anything away, but I have watched the first 7. I think the next
2
drops on July 1.
Yeah, July 1st.
We'd be waiting for that. Definitely into Stranger Things. My kids love it. For the old guys, for the old people out there, I'm watching Midnight Sky because I'm a big fan of J.K. Simmons and Sissy Spacek. Again, you remember who Sissy Spacek is, Leah? You don't know who that is.
No.
Carrie, have you heard of the movie Carrie? Way back
Yes.
then, Steve. Okay, she was the star of Carrie.
Okay.
And then a couple other things. I'm finally getting my family into Better Call Saul, which I think is a phenomenal show. And I'm considering, have you guys watched Shining Girls yet with Elizabeth Moss?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. You're like, look at me like, wow, these are all like old people shows. So
Not necessarily.
let us tell you now what most people are watching, Craig.
No. Sean, you go.
Well, I just started season 2 of Stranger Things, but I've been seeing all over the internet about what is that song that's re-entering the charts?
Oh, Running Up the Hill or something?
Yeah. So I need to catch up to that. So I've been really looking forward to that. I've actually wanted to watch Man in the High Castle for a long time, so I might throw that on there. And then I started watching it a long time ago, but I never finished it, and I want to get back into it. I want to watch Mad Men again.
Oh, so good.
I was an advertising. Yeah, I was an advertising major in college in my undergrad, so it spoke to me, and I never finished it, so I want to get back into it and actually get through it, get all the way through it. So that's probably what I'll be watching this weekend for sure.
Okay, I'm so lame because every week I come on here and I say, and I barely make it through. So I did finally finish the most recent Stranger Things last night, but still on my list and has been is the Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus. But the good news for me is the longer I've waited, the more episodes have come out. So that will for sure be my weekend binge. I have no plans this weekend. I'm just going to watch that. And I'm still watching Love Island UK because if anyone here has watched Love Island UK, you know that the seasons are like 50 to 60 episodes long. So you think you're almost there and you never are. Caleb said The Boys season 3 is insane. I've heard The Boys is a good show. Have either of you watched it?
I started the first season. Yeah, I started the first season and then I never stuck with it. But it was what I watched was really good. So I might get back into it actually.
Okay.
Which shows are you waiting for the next season? When you look down the road, what are you waiting for?
Oh my gosh, I can't even think.
I mean, once the F1 season finishes, Drive
to Survive always. The Mandalorian
of Letterkenny.
Mandalorian, nice.
I need a new season of Letterkenny.
I need to check out Shoresy too on Hulu.
Yeah, Shoresy's solid.
Letterkenny's
yeah, I love Letterkenny so much. There's other ones that I definitely am waiting on, and now that you put me on the spot, I can't think of it.
Jacob said Umbrella Academy. Yes.
I'm a big Marvelous Mrs. Maisel fan, although the last season I was a little bit disappointed until the final episode, which was incredible. And it almost felt like they were just like kind of lazy, and then let's give them one as we sign off for the year to draw them back for the next season. So they won because I'm coming back for another season. And then I don't know if you guys, my kids love The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh yeah.
That's another one I never finished, but is very good.
So good. Also, I'm laughing because Caleb said Game of Thrones season 8 because we'll just pretend.
Let's do a final season of Game of Thrones where they actually get it right instead of that horrific ending that they gave such an amazing series. By the way, why does series consistently have such a hard time wrapping up? Why do they blow it?
I don't know, because I finished Ozark and I felt like the ending of Ozark was rushed.
That's how Game of Thrones felt too.
Yeah,
we only have this many. Let's just go off script. Let's take a character and make her act entirely out of character at the end. It was nuts. Or if you're gonna do it with, sorry, I'm getting a little geeky here, but if you're gonna do it with her, at least develop that so that we actually believe that this sudden turn into psychopath is believable, because it wasn't believable. It just felt lazy to me in the end, which was really disappointing because I loved Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is actually, I'm looking forward to the Game of Thrones prequel series that's coming out on HBO.
Right.
So that'll be good too. I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh, another thing that I think comes out next week, not a show, but a movie, is the Buzz Lightyear origin story movie. I need to see that. That looks amazing.
With Chris Evans as Buzz.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, well, everybody let us know in the comments what you're binging this weekend or on Twitter and the Discord as well. Always trying to keep a list of shows to watch. Oh my God. We might have a surprise guest, but I don't know how ready he is.
The show is ending.
Oh, no. Give us a thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, bring him in.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Because you can't make it on your own?
I know. Just landed in Tampa. I'm tired. I'm ready for bed. I don't know what you guys talked about today, but I'm sure you talked about hockey and spicy dill. And I know I've got no Wi-Fi, and I don't know if you can hear me, but off to Game 6, and everybody in Arizona needs to root for the Tampa Bay Lightning so I can come home. The good news is if Tampa wins, I will be stopping through Arizona and potentially making it to a live show on Monday.
Look at that. Oh, we're all Lightning fans now.
Yeah, let's just get
Let's
go.
I'm just kidding.
Let's get home. And the Four Peaks, is there still any left, or did the pause drink it all?
Buddy, out.
Oh my God, seriously? IPA?
Cheers,
Craig?
Petey.
Yeah, Hazy's in there for sure.
Oh my God,
Oatmeal stout.
Save some kilt lifter for me.
I think there still is some, actually.
Oh, there is for sure.
Well, fantastic. I can't wait to get home.
Yeah, I'll bet. How many hours of sleep you averaging, buddy?
You know what? I didn't get many last night. It was tough getting from New York to Tampa today, and I'm really tired, but let's go. Here we go. One more tomorrow. I like Tampa in this one. I think they're a little bit too much for the Rangers right now, and you saw the rest versus rust really get into play in the third period of last night, where Tampa Bay was just much better than the Rangers. The Rangers kind of ran out of gas, I think, in the third period last night, but with Shesterkin, you never know. You just never know. So everybody knock on wood. And because of Leah's buddy, Justin Bieber, if it goes 7, it's a 2-day wait. So please no. I don't want two more days doing games. Let's go. And I know Leah wants to see that concert. So if I do go, Leah, if you got any connections with Bieber and his camp and can hook me up, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll go see the show. Maybe I'll even dance.
Are you a believer, Petey?
I'm not, but convince me.
Petey at a Justin Bieber concert would be everything. Everything.
Yeah.
I need to see that. But I want you to come home. So I hope Tampa gets it done tomorrow for your sake.
I do too. I want to come home, and I'll be in the studio on Monday and get ready for the prep to go to the DNVR bar. Can hardly wait. Do they have Four Peaks at the DNVR bar? Do we know?
I think they do Breckenridge Brew there.
Okay.
But they are both owned by the same company. So.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're both. I believe they're both under the Anheuser-Busch family. I think.
Well, either way, they're local beers for the Four Peaks is an Arizona beer, Breckenridge is a Colorado beer. So at PHNX we try and keep everything local and authentic, and that's why Four Peaks is such a great partner. And Petey, we also let everybody know about the draft party that will be at Four Peaks, and you will be there.
Fantastic. Can't wait. Sean DePaz and I will be at the Four Peaks Brewery, and you two will be live in Montreal.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun day. We gotta have a few Four Peaks. Hopefully a lot of our PHNX friends come out, and it should be a long, fun day. We've got a lot going on. I'm sure you've told them about all the things we got planned. There's going to be a lot of special surprises. And as long as the company buys me an Uber home, I will be having a lot of fun. So
I'm sure we can make that happen. Petey.
Leah and I will have a hard time drinking Four Peaks in Montreal. We might have to crack open some Bobby margaritas, but we'll figure it.
And some Shane shows for sure.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Petey, we'll let you get to your hotel so you can have some downtime. Hopefully get some rest. Thanks for calling in.
I miss it there, and I'll be back home. Hopefully, knock on wood. Let's go Lightning. I'll be home.
Yeah, go Bolts. Sorry, Ranger fans. Go Bolts.
Go Bolts. They had their chance. They were up 2-0. If they would have swept, then I'd have been home by now. So, they had their chance. Let's go. I want to get home.
Okay.
We'll see everybody soon. Bye.
Okay, bye, Petey. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's what he talked about the rest versus rust. I think the rust showed for Tampa early, and then they've won 3 straight games now, and I don't see any way the Rangers win this game. That was the Rangers, by the way. The Rangers were 8-0-1 at MSG in this postseason. The first game they played at home, they lost in overtime, and they had won 8 straight. So that ended an 8-game winning streak. It's sort of like, okay, that felt like the end of the Cinderella run for a team that I still don't feel is quite ready for cup contention. I think this is going to be a nice season to remember. They're going to have a hard time replicating this, but really fun run to watch for the Rangers. It's always cool to watch playoff hockey at MSG. It just is. It's a great venue.
Yeah. Check out, if you haven't already, hashtag Petey at the playoffs. Petey's been giving us some great content from the road on our Twitter. So check that out. I talked about the first round flashback series, and we also have prospect breakdown videos dropping starting next week, also for members only. So become a member at gophnx.com so you can access all of Craig's articles, all the articles of all the writers at PHNX on any Arizona sport you can think of. And become a member today so you can access all of that, and you can join our members only Discord as well. Get a shirt from the PHNX locker when you sign up. You can also get a hat. So lots of great stuff at gophnx.com, and more information on the draft party will be there as well. Last segment of Friday, producer power play. It's been a minute.
I don't know. I get afraid every time the producer power play comes around. It's like I don't know. So it's almost Pavlovian at this point.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't done anything that bad that you should be this worried, Craig.
The musician starting lineup one was a struggle for us.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, for you two, Petey had it locked and loaded.
You were god awful on that one.
That was horrible.
Petey had Harry Styles locked and loaded off rip. So like,
Petey isn't here, is he?
Yeah, fair enough. But this one I feel like shouldn't be too bad. Since we're not in studio, we're gonna have to get a little creative with it. I'm gonna have my phone timer set up here.
Do I need my glasses, Sean?
No, I'll count you down. I'll give you a heads up when we're getting close.
Okay.
But in honor of our new partnership with Four Peaks, I thought I would keep it pretty simple. If you had your own beer, what would it be, and what would you call it? And then, if you have time, because the one team that they don't currently have a partnership is with the Coyotes. If you had a Coyotes themed beer, what would that be? We're going to start your time, if I can do this properly, right now. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
going to go with the Howling Hefeweizen.
I was literally going to say that.
Wow, look at you go.
Oh my
look at you guys go.
That's unbelievable. Oh my gosh.
What's your favorite beer though, Leah? Is Hefeweizen that's not your favorite beer, so
no, it's one of my favorites. I love a Hefeweizen. Okay. I'm a ale and lager person. That's why I like the peach ale. And like a good blonde. I feel like for my beer, it could be something, the fact that I'm blonde, like a Leah blonde. Or just, what about like an I am beer? And it's just, a blonde.
I'm thinking about this blonde thing. Is there any sort of alliteration we can play on with the Coyotes? Who's got a name with B?
Bedard.
Look at that. Oh, that's perfect. Bedard blonde. That's it. We're done.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what's yours?
You got a minute.
Craig, you need to do yours.
I already did mine. The Howling.
No, that was for Coyotes.
No, that's for the Coyotes. What's the Craig Morgan beer?
Oh boy. Yeah, on the spot here.
An IPA, I'm sure.
No, it's got to be a stout. It's got to be a stout, but I don't know. What do you guys think for stout? What works?
Caleb said the milk stout, or a blackberry cherry sour called the beard is a lie. That's a fun name.
I go with the milk stout because we all know that Milkman is the wrong nickname for We can't use that. So we need a stout. We need a stout here. Look at this.
15 seconds.
I don't know. We were so good off the top, and we just
Morgan milk stout.
Yeah, we just ran out of time.
Yeah.
2, 1.
We should have kept Petey on for this.
Time up.
Why don't we ask our listeners to tweet the name of my personal stout? What it should be. Tweet at us, at PHNX_Coyotes, and let us know what Craig Morgan's stout should be called, because I failed again.
But the Howler Hefeweizen is a good one.
Yeah.
And I said, the Morgan milk stout would not be bad either.
Okay.
Stick with the
That's
stout
true.
to play
That's
off
true.
of a milk stout.
There we go.
Okay, well, everyone tweet at us beers for each of us, me, Craig, Sean, and Petey, and or a Coyotes one. So let us know at PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter or in the members only Discord. Not an IPA.
Is the second beer out of the question before noon?
No.
Asking.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Craig. It's fine. It's Friday.
Yeah, what time is it in Montreal? Okay.
It's
We're
2:47. Yes, we'll be in Montreal in a month. And Sean and Petey will be at Four Peaks in Tempe for the official draft party, July 7th at 4 p.m. at Four Peaks Brewing in Tempe. Can't wait for that. It's going to be a blast. Like I said, tons of draft content coming up on gophnx.com between now and then. And Craig, can we announce who our guest on Monday is?
Yeah, it's actually locked in stone. We're going to have Coyotes president and CEO Javier Gutierrez on the show to discuss the arena deal. You know, maybe we'll ask Javier what his favorite beers are too, now that we have this partnership. But yeah, we're going to talk a bit about, you know, moving forward with the Tempe City Council, the city of Tempe, on their proposed arena and entertainment district, and what the steps are from this point forward. Obviously, the Coyotes are excited. And as I mentioned on that emergency pod that night, we've never gotten to this point before. It's never gotten this far before. It's always been, you know, I mentioned the fact that ASU and the Coyotes were supposed to have a joint press conference and ASU didn't show up. That was a good sign that ASU probably wasn't on board with that situation. So they're definitely on board with this one. Hopefully, there are a lot of more bridges to cross, but hopefully we move forward with this. Again, I think there are a lot of people that I've talked to on the Tempe side who believe that this is a great deal. There are a lot of people in the business world who think this is a great deal for Tempe, but there are things that the Coyotes are going to need to do to make it happen. And we'll talk with Javier about that on Monday.
Really looking forward to that one. So a little bit of a change to our schedule. That Monday show will be at 3 p.m. rather than 11, but we'll be back to our 11 every day schedule going forward for the rest of the week. You can find our schedule always at PHNX_Coyotes, where we hope you'll follow. I know I said I would eat the maple syrup today. I'm going to save it for when we're in studio. So I promise that is coming as soon as we're back in the studio on a Friday. It'll happen, unfortunately.
How is this happening, Leah, by the way? How are you eating the maple syrup? Have we decided this yet, Sean?
I feel like it has to be on some like Eggo waffles.
Yeah, why don't we bring in some frozen waffles or something?
Okay.
Or like microwavable pancakes.
Yeah.
I was thinking like something really gross like microwave pancakes.
Yeah.
But okay, at Sprouts, they have these little like pancake bites. Those are good. We could do those.
Well, we don't want good, Leah. The point is
They're horrible. Don't get them.
yes.
I won't.
At
I'll
Sprouts
get you
for $3.99.
I'll get you Eggo microwavable pancakes because we don't have a toaster in the studio. We have a microwave. So.
Oh yeah, we don't have a toaster.
And okay. So we'll do the microwave. That's perfect actually, because I'll just be mush. It'll be disgusting.
Yes.
And I think even Log Cabin is kind of too high end a brand.
I agree.
So
No.
I'll go lower.
We might have to go like Kroger store brand.
No, people have been tweeting pictures and I feel it in my soul. It's like a reaction. It's horrible. Well,
we
I
gotta
promise.
get with it.
Syrup with the highest corn syrup content to it. And that's what I'll stick, okay.
I will wash it down with Four Peaks that day. Just get the taste.
We'll allow that.
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on a Friday. We'll be back live Monday at 3 p.m. with Coyotes president and CEO Javier Gutierrez. Really looking forward to that one. Like, subscribe, leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. Follow PHNX Sports across all social platforms. You can follow each of us on Twitter at the @ below. And until Monday, have a great weekend, everyone. And we'll see you next week.